Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to AKS, the Angone & Co. show. Thank you for joining us again on this beautiful afternoon, March 19th. Coming in right before 4 o'clock here on the SMC campus. I am Trevor Angone. Joined with me, as always, is my partner in crime, Mr. Kevin Coe.
Yes, sir.
What's up, Coe? How you doing? How you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good, but it's really good to be back in this dang booth.
Yeah,
you know what's the best part is that we said we were going to be back in a week, and we're actually back a week later.
That usually doesn't happen as we try to convince these listeners that it might, but it is really nice to see you again, buddy. Yeah, great to be back in here. I love these booths, man. They're always so nice and cold, especially on this warm afternoon.
Exactly.
I think we have another special guest in the booth with us today.
He's back?
Yeah, he is back-to-back Dutch door action duty for our bro over here at the SMC Broadcasting Department, Mr. Will Pohlig. How you doing? How you been?
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me back. I had to keep that East Coast vibe going, you know what I'm saying?
No, we had to bring you back, though. Let me stop this applause. We have to bring you back because we're going to talk two things today that aren't necessarily LA related, but yes, they are. We're going to talk NCAA Tournament, and we're going to talk NFL. And you have Villanova ties, some deep Villanova ties. And I just want to see how far of a homer you went with your bracket, because today let's get started and talk about what we're going to talk about today. So me, Trev, and Will, we're in here today. We're going to talk about the tourney. We're going to give you our favorites, more specifically our Final Four picks. We're all going to give you a little upset that we think is going to be in our eye, our own personal little favorite upset. Then we're going to talk some NFL, favorite move in the NFL so far. A lot of people are wheeling and dealing. We're going to talk about what's our favorite specific move. But we're going to try to spend a lot more time on the tourney because that's the big news right here, right now. We're going to get started with it. And I think Cal Poly's playing, Texas Southern right now for that Final 16 spot against Wichita State. But other than that, the brackets are set. The bracket is how it's going to be other than 2 games today. So, start off with our guest, Will, just to be polite here. Sorry, Trev. But, Will, tell me, who do you got in this Final Four?
Well, my Final Four, I am quite a homer. I do love Villanova, but unfortunately, I have Nova falling in the Elite Eight to 1 Michigan State. Yes, I got Sparty moving to the Final Four. They're out of the East bracket. Out of the South bracket, of course, I'm going with Florida over Kansas to make the Final Four. And in the West, I have Arizona beating who I believe is going to be the sweetheart of the tournament. They're going to win over Creighton to make the Final Four. And then last but certainly not least, we have Duke over Louisville to make the Final Four.
I like that pick. I do like that pick. Interesting. So you had Duke, you had Florida. Name your other two.
Michigan State and Arizona.
Interesting. All right. We got a lot of favorites in that, right? Arizona is a number 1. Florida's a 1. Duke is a 3. Michigan State's a 4, but a lot of people are falling in love with Michigan State. Well, I can see that.
The East, I think, is by far the easiest bracket to move on. Virginia, I'm not sold on. I'm just not sold on Virginia. I mean, they're a great team, but there's matchups here that I just don't see them. I have them falling to Michigan State in the Sweet 16. Michigan just matches up very well against them.
All right. Trev, your Final Four?
All right, Kev, let's get these 2 easy ones out of the way. My clone picks, my lemming picks, my 2 picks that it seems everyone else in the country is going with. So in the South bracket, I am going to go Florida.
Okay.
We were just talking before the show. They're super crazy right now.
Just really dang good.
Yeah, you were saying that
the best team in the nation. It's a consensus.
As far as on the defensive side of the ball, they
awesome.
Funny enough, they kind of remind me of the Joakim Noah, Al Horford, Florida from back in the day. Just big, tough SEC. So I could definitely see them getting into that Final Four. Second, down in the Midwest region, I'm going to go Louisville. We have a lot of people talking about, Louisville's only a 4 seed. I'm not too worried about the, what seed, they're going to get to, try to make to the Final Four. I mean, if you're going to get out of your region, you're going to have to play the toughest team. So, I'm not too worried about that. I know that's why Wichita State is, crying right now. But my 2 interesting picks. There's probably a couple people out there that, I'm probably not the first one to go with these guys, but down in the East region, I'm going to go Iowa State at number 3.
Ooh,
Pretty crazy.
Iowa State.
Those
interesting.
As my buddy down in the desert, those Iowa boys, he's an Iowa guy himself, so he's always talking up Iowa. It's been a while since I've seen Iowa State make this kind of a run, and in a while. It's been a while, I would say. But you have something to chip in here, Will?
Why I gotta sell on Nova like that, my man? Why I gotta sell on Nova like that?
You can't do that in front of them.
No, right? The biggest, maybe, controversial. I mean, I don't know how controversial it could be, but
throw it out there,
the eye-opening pick. I'm gonna go Oklahoma State out of the West, man.
Ooh,
yeah, Marcus Smart.
Oh, that's that's a combination of your upset thing going along with the Final Four.
You know what? It's funny you said that because I have a crazy upset alert.
We'll get to that in 1 second.
We will
save that for
a second.
Now, but tell me why in God's name is Oklahoma State getting past Wisconsin, getting past Arizona if they do have to play them? Why?
Okay,
how's that?
I think Oklahoma State slipped after Marcus Smart had to go on that. What was a 4-game suspension? I think
Agreed.
they lost all 4.
Agreed.
I think they might have even lost 6 or something like that.
Yeah, it was
so
bad.
they go on a skid. But since they've come back, they've looked tough, man. They've looked like that very impressive Oklahoma State from the beginning of the season. So, I was looking at that Western bracket, and they're the ones that stuck out to me. It's, those are the guys I'm going to roll with. I feel like all the teams in my Final Four are tough. They're tough defensively. They're just, they're guys that you don't want to cross. And, we know from watching the NBA for years.
Yeah.
The teams that play tough defense, the veteran teams, the tough guys, they're always the ones there in the end. So, those are the guys I'm going to go with. I'm looking forward to the feedback in this quaint little room regarding those picks, though.
Real quick, just because we're short on time, I'll give you my Final Four, just flying colors. Florida, I think they're the damn best team, and I think they're going to get all the way. Florida coming out of the South, Wisconsin coming out of the West, they're the 2 seed. I have Duke coming out of the Midwest, which is crazy because I only had them coming out of the Midwest because they beat Louisville. And some people might disagree with that because some people are putting Louisville way up there, including their own coach, Rick Pitino. But I don't think they're as hot as they think they are. And I'm going with everyone's favorite, including Obama, to come out of the West, Michigan State. Resurgence, Tom Izzo has that team on lock. They're just looking really solid. They're finally healthy. I think that's the biggest thing about Michigan State. And before I go on and we move on from this topic, Will, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I just want to say, it's interesting you went with Oklahoma State, a 9 seed, because the last time a 9 seed won the tournament was the 1985 Villanova Wildcats. Just want to throw that out there. Right. And I also have a pretty big upset, which not really the biggest upset, I would think, but I really like Texas to take down number 2 Michigan.
Wait, are we doing upsets? Are you moving on to upsets, Will? Because if we're moving on to upsets, then I got to play something, because the only reason that most of us watch college basketball, and also because I forgot to play this in the beginning of the segment, but we watch for the upsets. Let's get some music going. All right, tell me your upsets.
My upset is definitely Texas over Michigan. I mean, Michigan is a 2 seed, not a very dominant 2 seed. Their big men in the paint have not played well against the Big Ten big men. Frank Kaminsky from Wisconsin had his only double-double against Michigan this year. Harmon from Purdue averaged 13.7 rebounds against Michigan. And none of those guys compared to Cameron Riley out of Texas, who is 61% shooting. I mean, it's kind of hard to miss those dunks, and I just think he's going to be dominant over Michigan.
So you have Michigan losing. Number 2 seeded Michigan losing to number 7th seeded
in the round
Texas.
Of 32.
You're saying this is going to happen in the round of 32, and Texas is going to go to the Sweet 16. Interesting. Trev? You already told us that Oklahoma State's going to the Final Four, which is crazy, I think. But tell me, what's your upset?
All right, Kev. So technically, yes. The upset that I'm going with is Oklahoma State over Gonzo, a 9 over an 8. It's not too sexy. So, for the lack of sexiness, I'm going to blow your minds right now. Okay, you ready to have your minds blown? We're not just going with an upset alert. We're going with a historic upset alert, okay?
Oh, what are you going to do?
All right, I'm going SMC's own David Nwaba, Cal Poly, in progress right now, number 16, hopefully, going to make it in as the play-in. Number 16, taking out Wichita State, number 1. And I'll tell you why.
Interesting.
Okay? Never happened before, Will.
Never.
Completely correct. Pohlig, number 16. I think they're like 12-19. All right, just despicable. Okay, but they won their tournament. I watched the championship game against CSUN. Nwaba looked like a man possessed. And here's the thing: forget the records. Yeah, they're horrible right now. As far you look at their record, you're like, oh my god, how are these guys even in the tournament? And that's true. How do these guys even make a run in their own little tournament to make it into the 64? But they are on this, meteoric, trajectory. They, as far as I'm concerned, they look fantastic. They pulled out that win against CSUN. Yes, it's CSUN, but here's the thing with Wichita State. Wichita State is so upset at the region that they're in. They got the number 1 seed, but what? Oh, we have to go up against Louisville, and their spirits are so down. I feel like it's a complete polar opposites when it comes to the momentum and where their minds are at. So if Pohlig can hold on and get in as that number 16 seed, I honestly think if Nwaba can slash, get to the rim, represent for SMC, represent for Pohlig, I could seriously see Pohlig getting past Wichita State. Now, are they going to get past the round of 32? Probably not.
Yeah.
But I was looking at every single matchup in the 64, and Wichita State and, how upset they are with the region that they were put in, I really think that it's going to creep into their heads. They've been talking all season about how, we're not getting respect as an undefeated team. And, I just feel like it's a whole head game with them. So I'm going 16-1.
Interesting.
How much you want to put on that? Like, I'll take that bet.
He's trying to take a bet.
Yeah, are you going to give me 101 odds? Because, I'll go $5 for
sure. Right here, right now.
I'll take that bet.
We're saying yes. $5. It's a gentleman's bet, ladies and gentlemen. My upset, I'm going to have to go. You're going to be interested in this one. With NC State over St. Louis, and this is why. I watch college basketball because I love the NBA, and I'm waiting for these guys to get to the NBA. And TJ Warren is really fun to watch, and I love him. He's dang good, and I just hope he can keep playing as much as he can because I want to watch him. But I also think it's also because I just like NC State. I like how they play. I'm just gonna lie. I really like TJ Warren. I just love him, and I really think he could pull this off because that's why I watch college basketball. It's for the talent.
Is that your darling of the tournament? Is that your sexy team of the tournament?
No. My sexy team of the tournament was UCLA. But I just couldn't see them getting past Florida. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't see anyone in that region getting past Florida. I couldn't bring it. Not Syracuse, not Kansas. Florida's so good defensively, so sound.
Billy Donovan's got them boys rolling.
So just let's wrap this up. In the South, I have Florida. Will, you have?
I have Florida.
Will?
Florida, that makes 3, Kev.
Trevor, all 3 of us got Florida in the South. In the West.
All right, in the West, I got Arizona.
I'm going crazy OK State, baby.
And I'm going Wisconsin. We got 3 different ones coming at you. In the Midwest, Will has?
The Dukies. Duke Blue Devils. Coach K all the way.
Trev?
I'm going to take the seemingly national favorite at this point. I'm going to go Louisville with the number 4 seed.
I'm actually going with Duke also. And coming out of the East, I got Michigan State.
I got Michigan State.
Trev?
I've got State, but it's Iowa.
Oh, all right. So there you have it. There's our final 4. We'll come back with the championship picks next week. But now, let's talk about something other than college basketball. Because, dang, I swear, everywhere I go, ESPN, all that, all I'm seeing is college basketball, this college basketball, that. We got something else going on in the world, ladies and gentlemen. We got NFL free agency. And boy, have a lot of pieces been flying around. We talked about it a little bit last week, and literally a couple minutes after we finished our podcast, Revis ends up going to New England, which is crazy. We actually talked about that, which is even more awesome. But we're back talking about NFL, seeing which one of these moves was our favorite. And just right off the bat, before any of you guys get to anything, I mean, it's a foregone conclusion that Denver has to be up there, right? They got these guys like Talib, they got DeMarcus Ware, they got TJ Ward, and then they got Emmanuel Sanders on top of that. That's crazy. So, just curious, starting with Will, what were your favorite moves in the NFL?
Well, I'm not a Raiders fan by any stretch that means, but I really like what they did when they went out and got Justin Tuck. Justin Tuck is a proven player, had a little bit of a down year last year, but I think he's going to step it up, and he's going to be a great leader for that team. Because let's be quite frank, that team needs some leaders.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I thought you had more to say than my bad.
I like that one, man.
Short and sweet, baby. He's
short and sweet.
Getting down and dirty, getting down to business.
Doing that Denver short offense. Boom, boom, boom. All right, Trev, what do you got for me?
All right, Kev. Favorite move so far? Now, if you're talking about a player, single player favorite move, it's so funny. As soon as we left the studio, I was on the way home. I just passed Kev leaving campus. I was dropping off a friend's brother, and I get a text from Will, Revis just went to the Pats. And that was probably 30 minutes after the podcast. It was pretty hilarious. Now, as far as top pick, as far as favorite move so far regarding a player, singular player, I'm going to go Revis, okay? Okay. Pats, they need a revamp. They need to put something in place to go heads up with Denver. So I really like that acquisition. As far as from a unbiased standpoint, as a Dolphins fan, I hate it. Now I was explaining it to my brother, a fellow Dolphins fan. You know what? They lost Talib. They got Revis, a little bit of a wash. Yeah. But if you look at a team, Kev, you touched on it. Denver, man. I mean, Talib, Ware, Ward. I mean, these guys are just freaking going crazy. Tons of respect. Elway, he bust the piggy bank. They're making a run at it, bro. They know Peyton doesn't have too many years left, so they are definitely making a run at it, and mad respect. Yeah,
they are loading up, and that might be an understatement. For me, I spent a good chunk of the podcast last week talking about my infatuation for Steve Smith, and boy, he signed with Baltimore, and that's actually my favorite signing, and that's only because of this quote that you've probably seen 35 million times, but I'm going to do it for you again. Quote from Steve Smith: "I want to make sure that whatever team I go to, they're going to be the best, in-shape 35-year-old guy they can get. If that happens to run into the Bank of America Stadium, put your goggles on," and that's where the Panthers play, "because there's going to be blood and guts everywhere. And guys, the Ravens are scheduled to play the Panthers at home in 2014. I'm waiting to see some blood. I'm waiting to see some guts, but hopefully no one gets a concussion. Hopefully. I'm just hoping. Really quick, we got to talk some DeSean Jackson, because my goodness, this guy, one of the most electric receivers in the NFL, and obviously also great and very electric at keeping his name in the news. Philly man, Will Pohlig in here.
Was Philadelphia born and raised.
What the hell is going on with DeSean Jackson? Just lay it out for me.
All right, well, with the Jackson, because you gave me the little, that was a little too quick, too soon. I was waiting until we started talking about DeSean and the Eagles, because, we also got Darren Sproles this week.
Okay.
So,
I forgot.
We got Darren Sproles this week for a third-round pick.
That's a rich offense getting kind of richer,
Yeah, so what's going on with DeSean is the Eagles aren't actively shopping DeSean, but we are looking at a third-round pick as a starting point. And there's two teams that have been reported by Derek Gunn of CSN Philly to be interested, and that's the New England Patriots and the San Francisco 49ers.
49ers.
49ers. He's a Cal kid. He played football at Cal Berkeley. Yep. So, it could be a good fit. You got a coach like John Harbaugh who can really get into these young players. Not that DeSean's that young anymore, but he's still young in the grand scheme of things. I don't see him getting traded, though. I see him in the Eagles working it out. The offense it's just too explosive with DeSean Jackson. Now, he had over 1,200 yards receiving last year. Yeah. He's the go-to receiver, although Riley Cooper did kind of emerge, and we do have Jeremy Maclin. I just don't see it. The whole reason he wants this contract restructured is because after this season, his guaranteed money is not that much. It's more incentive-based moving forward.
Well, the Eagles just spent a boatload of money restructuring Riley Cooper's contract, right? So it just seems crazy to me that they would throw even more money at another receiver.
We're second in the league for the position and paying for that position. So I understand where DeSean wants the money, but you got to want to win too. Sometimes you got to make sacrifices for the team. It's easy for me to say because I'm not trying to get $7 million to play some football. I play some football for free. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, you can never talk enough football. In the next coming weeks, we'll talk some NFL draft with you guys because we know there's so much going on out there about Johnny Football. Is he actually really good? Is Jadeveon Clowney even that great? This, yada, yada. So we'll be there. We'll be speculating with you guys. That should wrap up our podcast. We're hitting the 20-minute mark here. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for sticking with another podcast. Trev, any final words?
No, I think you wrapped it up beautifully, my friend.
So, before we do go, shout out to Brad, of course.
Check out the big brain on Brad. You a smart motherfucker. That's right.
I had to plug that in before we left. I just had to plug that in.
I love it.
Will, any final words before I send you guys off?
Final words, look out for Creighton this year. Look out for Creighton. McDermott scoring 30 like crazy. Put on that 30-30 club.
My name is Kevin Coe. For Trevor Angone and Will Pohlig. We'll be back. See you next week. This is the AKS Podcast, by the way. YouTube.com/AKS Podcast. See you next week.
Like I don't care, baby, by the way.